Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So this is my 10-gallon wild guppy and peppered Corydoras tank. And 2 days ago I saw the peppered corys spawning, and I collected some eggs, and I was just now going to check up on those eggs, and the Corydoras are still at it. That female had, you can see she had some eggs. She's depositing more eggs as the males are over. Yeah, so I have eggs that I collected that I put in that breeder box, but then we have more eggs right here, and around the side here. Right here, up here, and there was some on the back wall, if you kind of see through here, through the Java moss and subwasser tang. So yeah, so this, they're still laying more eggs. Yeah, so I was checking up on these, because it could be, it's been 48 hours, over 48 hours since I collected them, and I wanted to check up on them. I figure it'd be anywhere between 2 and 4 days for eggs to hatch, and none that I could see hatched yet. So where do I get 2 to 4 days from? Just based on experience, I had emerald green Corydoras lay eggs in my 84-gallon, and I collected those, and in 2 days they hatched. And the first ever pygmy Corydor, or any Corydoras eggs that I collected, were pygmy Corydor eggs, and those took about 3.5 days. So here we are. I figured the shortest would be two days, consistent with the emerald green Corydoras, but none hatched yet. But now I might try to collect some more. So I did leave, I mean, these are new, but there were a couple of them that I just left back there just for the heck of it. I collected at least 20 or so that I put in the breeder box, and I left some out just to see if they would hatch out and if they would make it by any chance on their own. And I put in some catappa leaves, or what I had left of catappa leaves, just kind of shreds. So I put some down here, and then most of it just were pieces like this and just floated to the top. Maybe eventually they'll sink down, but like in the wild, they would, fry would survive by hiding underneath like leaf litter. So next chance I get, I'm gonna get some more catappa leaves, and I'll just lay them in the bottom of this tank and other tanks that I have with Corydoras. Yeah, so in here there's about 20, and I have an air zone. I just turned that off so we could get a better look, so it doesn't, the bubbles don't blur the water as we try to look in. But on this Java moss, some of it, the eggs are attached to it, where I scraped off the eggs with a razor blade, and then I used strands of Java moss to scrape it off the razor blade, because doing it with my fingers before, with the emerald green Corydoras, I damaged some of the eggs. So let's see if we can see on here, like right in the middle there, there's a cluster of eggs on that, and some random ones, like a cluster right there, and then on different strands there, just like maybe some individual pieces. And then you can kind of see down here on the bottom, this one right there does have fungus, unfortunately, but most of them look okay. That's one thing, they do now look darker 48 hours later than they were after the female first lays the eggs, and that's just over a little bit of time they darken before they hatch. So that's a good sign, and you can kind of see some of them loose ones that are on the bottom that didn't attach to any Java moss. My depth perception is off by looking through the camera here and trying to do this. Then there's some algae on some of them, where, like here, this cluster on the Java moss, there's algae on the Java moss, like whether that's blackbeard algae or staghorn algae, one or the other, but you can see there's some there. But then some of these, where I scraped them off the glass had diatom algae on it, so some of them have that, and I was concerned if that might affect any fungusing. But for the most part, they look viable. And yeah, so coincidentally, I noticed them having the eggs right after I unboxed this from my Chewy fish supply order to make use of this breeder box. Different one. This one has, you know, like the mesh net compared to the other ones that I have that have slits. But now that there's more eggs, I think I'm going to collect a few more, and I'll see if I can find the breeder box that had that I used before, and just, you know, keep these in here that are 48 hours old, and then these that are, you know, I figured must have just laid these eggs maybe within the last hour or so. Yeah, let me try to get some of those. Alright, so collected some more eggs. So I did find this breeder box. So this one has, you know, it's just a clear box that has like slits on the sides. So just from when I had the emerald Corydoras, I used this, and they were, as tiny as they were, these slits, I was kind of concerned that these would be too big for Corydoras, but I was able to contain them. And I made the mistake, you know, this would be like on suction cups, but they didn't stick good, and I ended up losing them. But this time I just have it resting above, so if they do hatch out, I won't lose them from just getting out of the breeder box. And then, who knows, I figure the ones that in my 84 gallon must have just gotten eaten when they got out. Alright, so that's going to give 3 options. So we have the first ones that I got from 2 days ago, and actually some of these just now I also added in here, so we could have some hatching very soon. I would figure the next time I check, might see some hatched out Corydoras. These might take a couple days. And then the others I just put in here a couple days, and then, oh, there they go. I saw a big bunch of eggs on that female. But then, you know, so option 1, option A, this breeder box, option B, this breeder box, and option C is just loose in the tank. So we'll see if there's enough cover in here that they can hide. And there's, as far as predators go, compared to some of my other community tanks that I have Corydoras in, it's just the guppies and the peppered corys themselves. And like one difference is that enough of the eggs didn't get eaten. Like I'm sure along the way when my corys have had laid eggs in community tanks, they just got eaten. Alright. So I would anticipate the next update with probably by tomorrow even. Might see some Corydoras eggs. Alright. Well, that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.